Hey guys, meteorologist Chris Tomer here with this mountain weather update, and this is the On the Snow, Snow Before You Go forecast. And here's what I'm seeing in this update. So over the next 7 to 9 days roughly, the pattern is now shifting to favor the northern tier of states, BC, Pacific Northwest, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah to some degree late in that period, 211 to 215. That's what we're going to see, the main emphasis during that period up there. Then the pattern's going to shift back down to the central Rockies, to California, 216 through 220. And that's going to be a pretty nice period with potentially heavy snow accumulation across the board, with the involvement of a strong subtropical jet blowing storm systems and moisture in, and potentially some atmospheric river contribution. Not sure yet how much, but that could be a factor, 216 through 220. In the northeast, the numbers are still trending up for this 213 storm system, so we'll look at all that in this update here this morning. All right, I want to take you over to my spider chart. Odds of best snow next 7 days, roughly. More purple higher on the web, better odds of new snow. So that's a lot of areas. That's most of Colorado, especially once we get past 215. That's Wyoming, that's Montana, that's Idaho to some degree, that's the Pacific Northwest, that's BC early in the period. That's going to be the Sierra after 215. That's going to be Utah after 215. So there's a lot of places, and not to leave out the Northeast, that 213 storm will provide some great powder. If you can ski 213, 214, it's going to be very good. Okay, let me go back over. I want to show you water vapor satellite imagery this morning, give you the lay of the land. So there's our departing storm, the last of the storm cycle out of Colorado, New Mexico. Now everything's shifting. You can see the next storm moving into the Pacific Northwest. That's what's going to bring that round of snow to the northern tier. Another storm behind it. That'll probably make a contribution down the road. Now, the storm behind that one, it's probably going to sit and spin for a while and wait, and then it will dislodge with the subtropical jet streak, and that will become part of the big pattern shift back down into California, Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, 215, 216 through 220. And that'll bring that powerful jet with it and quite a bit of energy. In fact, here is the forecast jet stream. So here we are on 212, end of day. You can see everything's really favoring that jet's running west-east across the northern tier. That's where the moisture ribbons will be. 213, end of day, 214, all there. 215, same thing. Now on 216, everything starts to shift down to the south, and that focal line, that boundary for snow, will come out of the Tetons and hit the Wasatch pretty squarely, along with western and northwest Colorado and definitely the Sierra. Here's 217, end of day. 218. Look at that. It's wide open from the Pacific. So you're looking at a west-to-east transport right off the Pacific Ocean. So you're going to get storm snow, you're going to get flow snow, you're going to get all that with this type of pattern. Let me put some moisture on it. So by the time we get into, here's 212 in the morning. This is Monday morning. You can still see that storm and all that snow, northern tier, BC. Early in the period, you'll want to ski BC, especially interior BC, Revelstoke and Red Mountain, Fernie, all those guys. You're going to have snow early in the period. All right, and then 212, there's 213, everything's still favoring northern tier. At times it will brush the Wasatch and the central and northern mountains of Colorado, but here comes the boundary. Watch 216, watch it light up. So this is a magical time because everything's coming south. You got that snow being, this is all flow snow, orographics, right along the boundary from the Tetons right into the Wasatch and parts of the central and northern mountains of Colorado. Here, look at that, 216, powerful flow. Now here comes the storm out of California. So you've got storm snow and flow snow here through Utah, parts of the Tetons, definitely into Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, back into the Sierra as well. That keeps going. So here comes the next storm. That one departs into California. That one moves moisture into the interior. And then another storm behind it is all loaded up and ready for California. So this is going to be a good period for a lot of the West. Let me show you what I'm thinking as far as snowfall. So early in the period, this 48-hour period into 212, most of the accumulation is up in BC, Pacific Northwest, northern tier states. Second period is going to shift a little further to the south, 213 to 215, starts to make the move. Looking at it probably 9 to 12 through the Tetons, 4 to 8 up into parts of Montana. Looking at good numbers through Bachelor, not only in this period, but the next one as well. Probably 6 to 12 across the Wasatch as the boundary slips north to south. A little bit in the central and northern mountains of Colorado, and probably 6 to 12 across the Sierra. All right, here's the final period. This is 216 through 220. It'll be a pretty big period. I have a feeling. A couple of feet on top of the Wasatch with that focus flow, another 6 or 7 up in the Tetons, and 1 to 2 feet in Colorado across most of the mountain zones. That's going to be awesome. And probably another 2 to 3 feet in California. So you add the foot in the previous, you're looking at 2 to 3, maybe 4 feet in the Sierra out of this storm cycle that is on its way. And anytime you see the purple shading, that's a foot or more. So you get an idea of where that's going to occur. Into the northeast, great time, especially on 213. Obviously, 214 would be good too, with just leftover. But looking at 1 to 2 feet in the purple shaded areas of southern Vermont, southern New Hampshire, southern Maine, Massachusetts, southern New York State, that's going to be the heart of the storm track for 213. There may be another storm down the road on 216 with some moderate accumulations, but really just now focusing on this 213 storm. It's a nice close low, so enjoy that new snow up there in the northeast. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this On the Snow Before You Go forecast. Take care, and I'll talk with you later.